Hello everyone, this is Agent Ovo 992 and today we're back from the brand new video, and I don't know if I've mentioned that before, maybe I've mentioned it once or twice, but we are also here to discuss the latest Rangers game, a Rangers game that was stress free, never in doubt, and never had me worried. I certainly wasn't pulling the grey hairs for this frickin' noggin watching that game of football and experiencing what is a death-defying rollercoaster every single time Rangers and Aberdeen come against me. I hate the game, I hate watching it, I hate feeling it, but thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, we've came over the hump that has hurt us so many times domestically, and not only did we have that to face, you know what I mean? Because Rangers versus Aberdeen, Aberdeen always just turn up like their 2002 Brazil squad at the World Cup. Every single time Rangers are on the calendar, they're right up there and they save their best for us every single time. On the flip side of that, you have us usually underperforming versus Aberdeen. You look at that statistically, our run 1-4 before coming into this game domestically, which has been nowhere near good enough. Then you've also got the fact that the pressure is now on us. We have done miraculous stuff if you think about it. Last time we saw this Aberdeen side, they scanted us 3-1 at Ibrox. The last time we saw them at Ibrox, 3-1 to them. The league looked dead and buried at that point. Celtic were so far points ahead. Well, now we had an opportunity to replicate that, not only get revenge at Ibrox, but go level, joint level with Celtic and show that we are truly capable of mounting a title challenge and showing we are truly the best current performance side in the SPFL. A challenge and a test that we have failed over the last couple seasons. But it's not just that, and that. Nah, you had a wee managerial bounce as well, and you start to look at what was stacked against us today, because it wasn't just a regular managerial bounce. It was Neil Warnock, who has went through 11 clubs without losing his first game. You have to go all the way back to 1996 for the last time that man lost his first game charge at a football club, and you have an Aberdeen side on the feel-good factor as they picked up a nearly impossible result at Pittodrie versus Celtic, feeling good about themselves as they got a result that they normally never get. You take a step back, ladies and gentlemen, you squeak the chair back a little bit and you look at what was against us in terms of the table and the weight on the old scale. That was like we were up against the Infinity Gauntlet on the old wrist of Thanos. But ladies and gentlemen, we did it. I have no idea what I've just said right there, but we're going to keep it rocking and rolling because we did one take right here on the channel. No mistakes, no do-overs, we just keep on rolling, and that's how we feel right now watching this Rangers team. And again, the poetic nature of the last time they were at Ibrox, beating us, sacking the previous manager, some people writing the league off already, some people celebrating the league already. Well, are those people celebrating now? Nah, is it starting to get a little bit nippy? Is it starting to get a little bit nervy as Rangers finally have a real manager in charge and enough fresh ideas and enough fresh blood in that Rangers machine that the same folks that's hurt us year upon year isn't holding this team back? Because this here is the banana skin. This here is the game that hurt us. This is a point every single day the week over the last couple seasons, but somehow, some way we willed ourselves across. Now I know there will be people saying, but it wasn't the perfect result, and rightly so. It wasn't the 3-0 that would have made us clear at the top in terms of goal difference. In a perfect world, we're sitting here celebrating a 3-0 right now, and probably on the balance of play, you're maybe looking at that and saying, we did deserve to win by about a 3-goal margin, but it's never going to be that way, especially when Aberdeen comes to town, because again, no just saying they take it up there, it's the game, it's the Achilles heel, it's always ugly. And for me, all I wanted for this game of football was the Rangers to pick up all 3 points and get over the line and just show and put pressure, because there's nothing else you can do as a side than just keep picking up 3 points, just finding new ways to win. And when it's no pretty, when it is nippy, when it is a little bit scary, if you've got a team that can conquer all 3 of those and just get over the actual hump, that truly is what makes you champions. Now, of course, nothing was won the day, and we're not going to get lost in that and start celebrating way too early. There's still a hell of a lot of work to be done, but I think it'd be really disingenuous and honestly just sucks the life out of football. You should be a VAR official or a linesman or a Scottish referee if you can't be happy and be proud and celebrate your team being where we were, how far we were behind, to take it back to the even games played. I know they play them more and everything like that, and we'll get our game in hand next week and everything like that, but to sit back and you look and be proud of your team for fighting and scratching tooth and nail and getting back joint level. That's something to get behind, and that's why we support their football teams. That's why we follow them up and down the countries. That's why we eat, sleep and breathe our football clubs. It's moments like this. There's great momentum behind the squad, and I'm so damn proud of the Rangers team, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm not going to try and talk it down or start playing some coy. I'm very, very proud in my team right now. Again, not going to get lost at this, but I'm here to react in this game, a football, and for me, it felt absolutely massive. So I guess in a weird way we actually owe Aberdeen a massive thank you for scanting us and celebrating that win at Ibrox like he's just had lifted some silverware. You got rid of Michael Beale. We greatly appreciate that as Rangers fans, and we thank you so much for opening the door for us Belgian Phil Clement to come in and take us to where we are right now. And again, we're looking hungry, and there's no a selling Matt Borey that thinks for a second he's going to get lost and start losing his focus. Nah, you see him, he's the Iceman cometh, the eyes never lie. Chico, he is ready to go, and he'll have his players to go, and that's where I'm going to go next. I want to speak about a couple individual players, because it wasn't a perfect game or anything like that, and we will speak about that when we get to the game recap, but I'm so damn proud for the second consecutive game recap, that is, I get to mention Mr. Todd Cantwell, the guy that was getting slaughtered, the guy that was told to get punted in January, the guy that got told he only cares about his hair, the guy that got told he only cares about his TikTok account. Well, TikTok Todd, that's been lambasted and chased and mocked and laughed at, scored the goal to move us joint level at the top of the league. A goal, by the way, that's not only continues his great form, but is now his 5th goal in his last 7 games. And if you look at those 7 games, crunch times, big games, big moments, big player, and I said it in my last reaction video, the better that Todd Cantwell plays, the better this Rangers team plays, because I know Lunny gets a lot of credit, and I thought he was great today as well, by the way, but creatively and the way he went about his business today, taking the challenges, taking the risk, he can lead us to glory, and that's exactly what he did today with a massive, truly massive goal that collected all 3 points. Shout out Lunny as well for his running and his hard work. It was great to see Rabbi Matondo with another big goal. Now we did get a wee bit of the Dessertitis at Parkhead, and we will speak about that later, but can we appreciate the goal, the anticipation, the work rate and that as well. These are players that are mocked, these are players that are lambasted, these are players that get told they shouldn't be wearing the shirt. Well, they're the players that's winning you the games, winning you the 3 points and having us joint top of the league. And before we do carry on with the rest of today's video, by the way, if you didn't mind hitting that like button or subscribing to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. We have a challenge set to us, the nation, right here on the channel, to reach 70k before the end of the season. It's going to be very, very difficult, ladies and gentlemen, but if you can hit the like button and show the support, or subscribe if you haven't done so already, that'd be greatly appreciated as we try and tackle the 70k dream, just as this Rangers team tries to tackle the 56 dream. But aye, let's get in to the actual game recap, and let's not spend too much time talking about individual players to start, because they're naturally going to end up coming up, because there is so much to talk about. There's good goals, there's a lot of pressure, there's soreness in the heart, there's the usual long ball nonsense that we concede, and we have another truly embarrassing officiating display / performance for Don Robertson, again under the lights in front of everybody at Sky, showing once again just how dreadful of a referee he actually is. And truly, this might sound harsh, but Don, I really hope no matter what you do tonight, your pillar is never called. Sorry, I didn't like lose my head like that, ladies and gentlemen. That might have been a little bit too far, but I want to get to the game, because the game started almost like a European night. It did have that vibe. The crowd was electric. You could feel it in the air, and then you had the way that Rangers started this game of football. And I want to talk about the first goal right away, because it's going to mention and bring up a lot of things that we actually are going to talk about, because not only did we talk about Phil Clement being massive in this type of game of football, but you're also talking about the fresh blood, you know what I mean, that's injected in to this Rangers machine to get us over the edge, to improve on previous mistakes upon season. Well, the very first goal is that, and you might not look at it, you might say, oh, it's just a rebound off the goalie. Go back and look at it. How does it start? I challenge you to try and remember for the next 30 seconds. Ridvan Yilmaz getting the ball in a tight area, and instead of turning around and passing it backwards, turning around and recycling possession, turning around and playing it safe. He tries to do a through ball to Dessers first time. Now it doesn't reach it, but you know what it does? It forces the defender to react. He ends up clicking it into the sort of the halfway position, and Rabbi Matondo, another one who's no bogged down by previous years and years of failure, nips and wins the ball. It's brilliant. Ends up playing out to Todd Cantwell. Cantwell finds Ross McCausland. Ross has a shot. That's all you can ask for the young laddie. Just hit the target and you never know. You know what I mean? You're never going to score if you didn't shoot, troops. And for so long, we've got it in the wide positions, and all folk want to do is a wee step over here or there and cut inside and try and pass it. Well, now we're actually getting shots away. It's a dreadful bit of goalkeeping, if I'm honest. I do rate Roos quite highly, by the way. I think he's a very tidy goalie in this league. You're probably looking at maybe the second, third, fourth mark. You're looking maybe at the likes of Craig Gordon when he's fully fit at second, like Liam Kelly being in and around that conversation. That's where he is, just in that run, and obviously miles behind Jack Butland. But you know where I'm going with this. Bad bit of defensive goalkeeping, but again, Rabbi Matondo following his good work, no admiring his pass, getting in the box, and it's a great finish on his weaker foot, and that set us away. And it did feel like a Leipzig, it did feel like a special European night, and I was saying, right, we've got the first, let's go ahead and get the second, and that will truly open the old floodgates, because again, 1-0 versus the likes of Aberdeen is irrelevant. It's great to enjoy the goal and we all get excited, but it doesn't change the game plan. They're still going to hang in. They're still going to defend. We see it with Livy, we see it with St Johnstone, we see it with Ross County, we see it with Aberdeen every single time. The second goal is so damn important, and it's what you need in these games if you want to put the teams away and rip up the game plan. And it's really unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, despite what I would say is maybe the best opening 15 minutes of a game of football I've seen at Ibrox this season. If I'm honest with you, we just could not get that second goal. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of good bits of tidy build-up. I mean, Lawrence was playing in Cantwell. Cantwell tries to zip it to the back post to find Dessers. It's good defending. There was nearlies. There was ifs. There was maybes. But we didn't get the second. Now, a lot of that could be done to maybe Aberdeen playing the dark arts, if you will. I know I'm not talking about Voldemort here. I'm talking about lying down, pretending you've got a concussion, pretending you've got a head knock. It's a real bad side of the game, and it's something I think the officiating actually needs to start looking into. If somebody's gone down holding their head, pretending they're absolutely KO'd or anything like that, they should get off the park and actually be checked properly, no stopping the game, etc, etc. If they're able to come on the park right away from actually being doing where they've no been hurt, and it's a bit of a pain, but that's what football actually is now, you know what I mean? It's a part of the dark arts, it's the way football is gone. McGrath went down 3 times where he'd knock. One of them, in fact, the last one I think was his ankle, where he was pretending he was hurt for a couple minutes, and you could see him smiling and laughing and winking to there, and I've got no time for that, but that's probably what was stopping us in terms of keeping that momentum pressure and keeping Aberdeen truly with their foot to their neck. All that build-up, all that pressure started to seep away, so where the first 50 minutes was sensational, the next 10 minutes was a real slob to actually watch, because again, the ball was barely in play, because every two seconds, there was an Aberdeen player down. But the 38th, the 39th, the 41st, and I think the 43rd/44th minute of the game is something that we need to identify and get much better in, because these are the temples of usual failure and frustrations, ladies and gentlemen, because we should be scoring more goals. There's no ifs or maybes about it. 38th minute of the game. Rabbi Matondo so well. Beats 2 people down the left hand side. He absolutely killed Devlin, and I know Devlin got a wee bit lucky with some of the deflections in the second half, but Rabbi was so positive. Beats 1, beats 2. He's running through. I'm saying this is going to be goal of the month already. I'm already up. I think it's in him. I believe in the laddie. I really, really do. And then he gets Desertitis, and I'm sitting saying, how's hit it? And then he eventually does, and it's well blocked again for Aberdeen. But that there is a golden opportunity, and again, that shows you the frustrations with Rabbi. So good in the first goal, so bad right there, as he's just got to believe in himself a little more. I know he's a young laddie. I know Clements took a real shine to him, and Rabbi's been very positive since coming back in, and I think he will turn into a very good player. Certainly Clement thinks so, and I trust Clement's opinion. You know what I mean? If there's one manager I trust right now, if they're saying a guy is good, it's him, and he's saying Rabbi is that. I think he's done all the right thing. I think all he's wanted to do is pass it to Dessers, and then he's not got the pass, and he's went, and then he's got it. We need to get that out. Let's get the instinctive back. But I guess that will come with confidence and mere game time, because let's remember, that's Rabbi's first time this season playing in back-to-back domestic games to start. So let's give him some time. The likes of Ridvan, it took that run to get in and start heating up. It takes other players that, let's really get behind this laddie. I know he can frustrate people, and I can hear it in the crowd, and I can hear the moans, and I can hear the groans, but he's a difference maker. He's a game changer. He scored you a goal. He's created something out of nothing. It's nothing ball down the channel. He's beat 2 people, ran out the box. Yes, he should do better, but he's still a young laddie. He's just got to wait to click, and if it clicks, we could be into a phenomenal talent. But aye, as I've said before many times over the last couple of weeks, wingers will frustrate you, especially in Scottish football, and that was frustrating. And from that resulting corner, by the way, Lawrence gets a bit of a free header on the run. Brilliant in-swingers all day. I just don't know how we're not scoring them now. It's so good. Tavernier and Ridvan. In fact, Ridvan hit a really bad one to start with, if I'm honest with you. But after that, everyone's dropped him in the 6-yard box. We've got nobody anywhere near it. Let's just move them in. If you watch like the Spurs game, or Everton's a great example. They know exactly what they're going to do. They didn't stand with everybody waiting to do this. Yeah, I'm going to header the ball, you just run about and do nothing. Right, cool. And then they just all chase each other. I don't know what's going on. It's like a conga. Just stand in the penalty spot. If we're doing it in swingers, stand and put your nasher on it. Everton's sensational, and they're causing havoc. It's no pretty. It's no sexy football, but look at what they're doing. All their main targets stand right in that 6-yard box, and it's an in-swinger to every single one of them. The deliveries were great for Tavernier and Ridvan. I want to give them credit for that. The in-swingers were dangerous. We just never had people in the right position, besides obviously this one from Lawrence as he gets the run on his man. But it's a frustrating miss. And to wrap up the tent poles of misses and frustrations, the 41st minute, great ball by Cantwell into Dessers. Dessers actually does really well, brings it down to Rabbi, and Rabbi hits the ball the way that he should have hit the ball up 5 minutes ago when he was through on goal. Great shot, and it's a very good save for Roos for just outside the box. And then Ridvan does really well down the left hand side, again combining with Todd Cantwell. Todd Cantwell was everywhere today. There was even a point where Aberdeen looked to counter us for a corner kick, and who was it at the back? Tom Lawrence and Todd Cantwell. Great effort for them too, especially in this game. But anyway, it goes to wee Ridvan. Ridvan plays in Dessers. Dessers has a snapshot that he rolls wide, and you're thinking, oh, the last 5 minutes, how have we no scored a goal here? Right, we'll go into half time then. How many minutes? 3 minutes added on. That's probably it for the first half. You've got the ball bouncing. There's nothing on. You need you to listen to me. There is nothing on. The boy isn't even facing it, and it's no an ire moment being 4-1 down versus Rangers when he no looks it or anything like that. This is just a punt up the park. The ball's bouncing. The defender who's facing this way just goes, I'm under pressure. Punts it up there, but somehow, some way, it comes in with snow in it. But with a navigation system, and Bojan Majowski just pushes Goldson out the way. Goldson's got to be stronger here, man. He's got to be a back all the time, Goldie. But that's 4 goals. We've conceded 1, 2, 3, 4 goals in big games, big moments in this game, that the same one ball has beat Connor Goldson. And it's frustrating, and I look at it through that end, right, and I'm frustrated at my centre half not being bigger and not being stronger and not holding him off or even blocking him when he's trying to get by you. Just be stronger, didn't let him move by you, and the ball ends up dropping. Majowski holds off Connor Goldson, and to be fair, it's a great finish. 1 shot, 1 goal. Majowski, that's a player you should be looking at. That's a player that's at the right age, right side of 20. That's a player that's going to be worth a wee bit if you bring him in, by the way. I know some people don't like him because he's an Aberdeen player, but you look at that, it's his 20th goal of the season. He scored his 20th and 19th in the last 3 days of football. That's been against Celtic with a great solo effort, and this one right here is another great solo effort. That's the type of player that ticks the profile if you look at it. 1 chance, 1 goal. And that was a familiar story going into the second half as well for the first 15 minutes of the second half, and that's despite Aberdeen starting the better in terms of winning a set piece, getting a flick on at the front post and needing John Lundstrom. It looked from my angle that he was maybe just headering it. If it was on target, it was maybe going in, so I think it was a goal line clearance, but I've seen no one else mention it, so I don't think it actually was right there. Maybe he just got headed on it and it was gone just wide. But anyway, Great bit of defending for him, but that's something that I think we need to tweak, by the way, because I think at every Rangers game, we seem to start games now under Clement better, which is sensational, but the second half, we always seem to start a wee bit slower than the opposition. It's another early set piece we've conceded, and it's a nearly moment for Aberdeen. But then we had our moments again with the likes of Dessers. He was battling, he was fighting. I know he was gutted getting substituted off, and you could see it. He was upset that he got subbed off because he felt he could have contributed more. And you look at the 48th minute, he's got two Aberdeen players on his back. He holds them both off. It's brilliant. It's Buffalo-esque. He passes to Cantwell. Cantwell's pass is just a little bit behind him, but Dessers does well to flick it with his left foot to get back in speed, and then he ends up scuffing his shot wide. But you look at it, you could hear the groans, you could hear the moans, but at the same time, man, it's actually a sensational bit of defending, because if you go back and look at it, like I have done now, the defender has slid in, and he's actually kicked it off Dessers, that's then hit it wide. So it was great defending rather than Dessers being dreadful. But aye, these wee half chances, these wee half moments just weren't fun for us, and that's what's hurt us in the past. That's the story versus Aberdeen. Everything we've talked about so far, being good, dominating, missing chances, conceding one long ball, and then not being able to get over the line. That's what it felt like again as Aberdeen started to get the bounces, started to get Rabbi Matondo beating Devlin, but every single time he beat him, somehow it was coming back off Rabbi, and you're sitting saying, oh no, I've seen this story before. That wasn't a Taylor Swift reference, but if any Swifties want to help the channel reach 70k subscribers, she's great. Glad she's won whatever she won last night. No? Okay. We had another really good spell where 4 minutes we were after them, really foot on the neck stuff, 4 quick corners. We had Lawrence forcing Ruse into a phenomenal save with his feet. The mistake he made for the first goal, well made up with that one, and you're thinking, oh, it's happening now, it's happening now. Then Jamie McGrath goes down again, sitting smiling to the refs, smiling to the official and everything like that, and then they're just sitting there for 5 minutes, and it strangles the momentum out the game again. But as we freshen up with the likes of Oscar Cortez and Fabio Silva coming off of Rabbi Matondo, who I thought had a great game, by the way. He was just a wee bit unlucky in the second half, and again Dessers, who went off for Silva on the park. We finally got the breakthrough, and it just felt like such a massive release on the ticker, and the way that it came down is probably the only way, because we've done the perfect football, we played the beautiful stuff, and it never worked. It took another deflection or a rebound, if you will, from the actual goalie. But let's give credit to Tom Lawrence, because it's an absolutely ridiculous strike right here as he rifles it right at Roos. And to be fair, this one you could look at it as another rebound. You can maybe look at it and try and blame Roos, but I think it's a sensational save, as Lawrence can't hit that any better. And where I give all the credit in the world is Todd Cantwell. We talked about the movement for Majowski and the anticipation and the reaction. Look where Cantwell is. He reacts first, and it's a great finish again. And that goal right there ends up winning us 3 points. That goal right there probably should have led us into a much more comfortable last 15-20 minutes, but it was never going to be that way. But TikTok Todd, thank you for being you. But just as we're happy, and just as we're having fun, and just as we're bringing in the likes of Diamandi, we've got Sterling now on the park. Aberdeen start making some attacking substitutions. The likes of Duke comes on, and say what you want about the laddie, he's involved, and unfortunately his first involvement was an elbow to Golton's face. It's not a red card, and if that is worth a yellow card, I should say. Where I do feel the referee's absolutely had a howler here, ladies and gentlemen, is 2 minutes after that, Sterling has actually got the ball in the middle of the park, and he's running away for Duke. Now Duke, I think he's tripping, right? To be fair, he might be tripping, but he comes, reaches and swipes Sterling's leg, which stops the momentum, which stops a counter. Can someone look me in the eyes? Nae bias, nae hatred, nae none. Look me in the eyes right now and tell me why Duke didn't get a second yellow card and be sent off for that incident. It's the looping motion with the hand. It's bringing Sterling down on the counter. That's as clear and obvious a stoppage or a counter attack that you'll ever see. Duke should have been sent off, and that's what I thought I was going to talk about. The sending off that should have happened in the game of football, and then 3 or 4 minutes later, Sterling gets red carded, and I'm saying, what's going on here then? And we're talking, we're looking at it, blah, blah, blah. We're searching for him, like, well, what did he get sent off for? Can somebody show me what's actually going on? And at first, it went down the tunnel, he started to walk off the park, and I thought, right, well, he must be offside. But then he's arguing with the fourth official, then he's talking to Clement, and then the referee goes like this, and everybody gets excited. You know what that means? Because this is what I want to talk about. This is where my frustration is, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because see if this was a straight red card offence. If VAR had agreed with the referee giving that decision to give the red card, see when the referee sent him off and he said, are we alright to play on? Are we alright to play on? VAR would have said, yep, continue with playing. But what did VAR say? What did VAR say? Told the referee to go and look at the incident again because they don't believe it's a red card and they want to give Don Robertson another opportunity to look at it at the speed that he's actually going to be able to on the machine, ladies and gentlemen. Yet despite that, that's maybe the one... No, I think I've seen it twice actually. I've seen it in an English game earlier in the year. But I'm talking about 2 incidences from about 100 that the referee's been told by VAR to go and look at a decision he's made, but then he's actually stuck with it. And that for me is the real frustration. That's why I look at Don Robertson. That's why I look at Willie Collum. That's why I look at these referees in this country. They are not good enough. I've looked at it now. I've looked at it several times. That is not a straight red card offence. He's putting his foot down. His studs up. He's no coming in high or anything like that. It's absolutely pathetic. This is a contact sport, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget about that. Football is a contact sport. There's got to be moments. There's got to be full-blooded. If Sterling's no winning that, if he's no being committed in that, and Aberdeen go and break away after winning that 50-50, it's Sterling's fault for being a coward. He's no made sure he's won the ball or anything like that. It's maybe a yellow. I'll give you a yellow card. But VAR didn't think so. The only person that did in that entire system, the only person besides Celtic fans that think that was a red card, in my personal opinion, is Don Robertson. And I didn't understand why. It's embarrassing officiating once again, and I guarantee it's going to be rescinded. It has to be. In fact, it won't be actually, because I'm not looking at it because of all the headlines and the spotlight that's new on them. They'll no overturn it, but they should. Rangers will appeal it because for me, it's simply embarrassing. VAR's told you to go and have another look at that because you've had a howler, yet he's back to howler, and that gave us unnecessary stress for the last 8 minutes of this game that should never have been. But it was us that came the closest. The Silver turned his man, rolled it just wide. We Oscar Cortez, we finally have a player that's got a wee bit of skill and ability that can drive us into a corner. Shout out John Lundstrom picking the ball up for the halfway line, 95th minute, sprinting into the corner, outrunning everyone again. Loved all that, and the last kick of the ball was a free kick for Aberdeen that they ballooned just wide, I believe. Fiduka actually looked really close, and I was like, oh no, here we go again. But thankfully it wasn't. Now, there was an incident where there was a shot where Connor Goldson's fell and it's hit his like upper bit, but let's be honest, we all saw that versus Celtic versus Kilmarnock, won't we? So do we need to go and talk about it? Because we all saw what happened in that game. We saw it explained why it wasn't a handball, but as it's Connor Goldson, as it's Rangers Football Club, I'm sure people will forget that and want to talk about it. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Even Don Robertson and horrific officiating could not drag this game, could not drag this win away for this Rangers team. A massive win, a massive moment. I'm absolutely buzzing. I can't wait to see how you're all feeling down there in the comment section below. And the winning machine that Clement has put together just keeps on winning, and that's all we can do, ladies and gentlemen. By hook, by crook, ugly, pretty, sexy football or no, we're winning games in football, and again, that's what wins you silverware. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. My man in match, Todd Cantwell. Lunny's up there as well, but I thought Cantwell was the difference maker in the game. Let me know your opinions down there, and as always, I've been CJ Over92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.